You asked me, for somebody that doesn't have that MJ mentality, how do they, I don't know if it was how they be successful or...
Like,
you gain your competitive advantage by being consistent.
That's true.
Like when you really think about the people that don't have that, like that or do have that collaborative, more style than competitive style.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that could be the name of this, right? Collaborative versus competitive.
I like that. What's happening, people? Welcome back to Be More to Do More podcast, where we help you to become the person you need to become to do the things you called to do. Your boy Tone in the building, and my boy.
What's up, Tone?
What's up?
Henry A. Harden.
The what?
The third.
Don't forget the
three.
Bro, what's up with you, man?
What's up, man?
Hey, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
I mean, well, they don't know that. I feel like I'm looking at myself in the camera, and I feel like I'm looking extra chocolatey, and I've been in the sun, man, on the beach.
It looked like mother's milk. So if you haven't seen The Boys, go look at The Boys. Go watch The Boys.
You've been on this all morning. I had to tuck my chain in.
It looked just like mother's milk.
Now I'm gonna have to go watch.
Go ahead, Mr. Milk.
What's his character like?
Chocolate. Go ahead, Mr. Chocolate.
What's his character anyway?
He's an interesting character.
Oh,
it ain't crazy. Like
okay.
Okay, it ain't crazy.
Okay, all right,
it's
man.
a good character.
Well, see, I had to tuck my chain. Anyway, man, today we talking about something special, man. We always talk about something special, but for the leaders out there, man, we're talking about what we call it, the MJ mentality or something like that.
Yeah,
That's what we're talking about.
MJ mentality.
And tell me about that, bro, because I'm not too familiar with it.
Oh well,
I mean, I'm familiar with it, but I think my bad, bro. I'm about to go on this rant.
All right, let's go.
So I think we had a conversation about this a while back.
Yep.
And I said, I don't know what brought this conversation up. I said, man, it's that MJ mentality. And I said, it's a few people I know that has this mentality. And this is including you.
Yeah.
That MJ mentality. So
we're crazy.
Yeah. Y'all nuts, man, out here. I don't know, man, but let's talk about it, bro. Let's talk about the MJ mentality, man.
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, LeBron James is the greatest basketball player of all time.
What?
Kurt, just so you know.
You heard he's sleeping with his teammate mom, right?
Bro, you wildin'. You wildin'. You are wildin'. It's true. But
hey.
But can we come on, man. Like, bro, you got so much juice in the NBA to where you can get your son who averaged less than 10 points a game, less than 5, like any other meaningful stat.
Man, hold on, man. You're a businessman. You're a businessman.
Drafted.
You're a businessman. That wasn't LeBron. That was Rich Paul.
What you mean?
That was Rich Paul, man.
Is it Rich Paul or is it Jeannie Buss? Or is it Rob Pelinka?
Okay, now
those people are my bad. Yeah,
who are those people?
Those are like the owners of the Lakers.
Okay, so now you get into it. May be.
Yeah, but it's all a play, right?
Yeah, it's a play.
It's a play. I mean, that's what LA is always specialized in, right?
Yeah, the Lake Show. Yeah,
like they've always been it's a show. It's a show, but they got to win.
Yeah,
they do.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, outside of LeBron
back
being
to the greatest,
the best,
MJ.
What made MJ special? Is his ability to create the conditions in his mind to be successful.
Makes sense.
And there's a lot of people really, but there's a competitive advantage to being able to flip that switch and kind of create these narratives that don't exist.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure who's all watched the I don't know if it was the 30 for 30. It
was the Last
Dance.
Last Dance.
Yeah. For the Bulls and their whole championship run.
Right.
And I feel like we talked about this before, like this particular situation, but
I think we have, but we
kind of hit on it, right?
Yeah, we didn't go in depth.
Yeah. So there's a part in the documentary where MJ or this guy, I don't remember all the details, but this guy, long story short, he ends up, having a good game on Michael Jordan, right?
Right.
And word or legend has it that the guy said something along the lines of, good game, Mike, or something along the lines of like, I got you,
right?
Like I got you this game,
Yeah.
like you ain't who they say you are.
Oh,
and Michael Jordan goes out the next time they play, or was it the next night? No, it was the next time they play, and just like, I think he dropped like 50 on them. What we find out, because I think they interviewed the guy or something, he was like, man, I ain't never said nothing to Mike. Like why would I, so he created this condition in his mind that, oh, shoot, this guy got the better of me this game.
right.
And he talking trash, I'm going to go out there and show him who's the best.
And dominate.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about today is that MJ mentality or what they call it, Mamba
mentality.
Mamba mentality, right? Like,
Yeah.
like you gotta be able to flip that switch,
Right.
when it's on, and it's on.
I think it's borderline crazy.
Yeah.
I think in another lifetime he was probably an assassin.
Okay.
Nah, real talk though. Nah, I mean,
Yeah.
Just reason being because it takes. Because I'm different, right? Like I say, we know a few people that have this mentality, but I'm totally different. Like I don't want to harm nobody. I don't want to hurt nobody. I just want to be the best that I can be. So it's like really me competing against me. So that mentality, like creating these conditions, I don't understand. But today we're gonna learn it.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to understand it.
Yeah.
Today. So let's talk about it. So what happens during it? Because like you say, you can relate with that, right?
Oh yeah.
So like how and what conditions do you, I guess, manifest this conversation in your head that, somebody's about to attack you. Now you got to go full-fledged assassination mode and just, compete. What is that? What type of condition would cause for that, I guess, in the leadership arena?
Yeah, I think, all right, so there's a couple ways you can look at it.
Okay.
For me, when I feel like I'm doing great,
Right.
I get really complacent.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
And so like my competitive juices start to like decrease. And it's almost like, I don't know if you ever like play video games, right? And
not since I was like 15.
yeah, like, but you play Madden with vehicles on the cover, right? Right. So, like,
yeah.
and you ever play somebody and you're beating them, 30-0, you just waxing them, right?
Right.
And then eventually you get to the point where it's like, I can continue to run and score up, or I can start to experiment.
Right.
And I'm, it's third and 16, and I run a draw play, or running play, like that ain't gonna get you the first down, but it's gonna, it's like, so you start to like do stuff that you wouldn't normally do,
Right. Yeah.
and you kind of get away from your game plan that was successful.
You try your luck. Right.
Yeah, like just to kind of see, okay, all right, hey, it's fourth down in 7, and I'm on the 30-yard line, but I'm up by 30. I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah.
And you start doing stuff that kind of like that don't make sense. So now they get the ball back and they don't score the touchdown.
Right.
So now they score 30-70, 30-7.
Right.
And then you okay, you know what? I'm gonna do this weird play on the onside kick. I'm gonna try to flip the ball back or do a lateral move or whatever. And then your guy don't get the ball. Now they back in the game. It's 30-14. Right? Like I said.
Wow.
So it's for me. I'm that type of person where if I'm up,
Right.
I start to like experiment more.
Oh,
To
that's crazy.
and I don't do what I know is successful.
Okay.
Because it gets boring.
Yeah.
Like I'm competitive, right? So like,
So you need that edge to keep it going or whatever.
yeah,
Makes sense. Okay. So you create the competitiveness,
Right.
if it's not there.
right.
Oh.
So the other side of that, right? So let's say if I'm up by 30, right? What I condition my mind, right? I'm up by 30. Oh, you trying to come back? And they might like it may get a first down, like, Are you trying to come back? Oh, okay. All right, cool. Let me switch my deep. Boom, like boom, pick six. 30, 30. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like you have to have that type of mentality, and this is why I'm gonna tell you, man. Like this is why this is why I rock with Jarvis so much, right? Because like Jarvis is super competitive.
Yeah.
And like and like I know that like he's creating these conditions in his mind of like of what he's kind of been through and what he's come from, and these different things. And he's like, I'm never going back to that. Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah.
So I can tell through conversation, like he got that dog in him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He got like he gonna find a way, figure it out how to make it. Right. Whether whatever type of story he has to tell himself. Right. So I'm the same way, man. Like, if we're now I give like just like real life examples too, right? Like, and this is especially like for our doobies out there, right? Doobies. Because you may be in a spot to where you're performing, that you're not performing, but it's like you also don't have that like nothing really pushing you, right? Because you're kind of just middle of the pack. So like people are not like screaming your praises, right? But they're also not like
saying you whack.
Yeah, it's like kind of just middle of the pack, and you got to create the condition in your mind that like, all right, I'm at the bottom, and I got to move forward. Right. And I used to play basketball games, right? And I look at it like basketball games too. I don't know if you watch a lot of basketball, but like
I barely watch any sports.
Basketball is a game of runs. Yeah. Right? Somebody might go on a 10-0 run, which basically they score 10 points, the other team scored 0 points. Mm-hmm. Right? And when you get behind by a certain amount of points, right? Let's say it's 20 points. You got to start looking at that thing in increments. Right. You can't look at it like, oh, shoot, I got to score 20 points. No, let's go on a quick 5-0 run. Right. If I can go on a 5-0 run, cool. All right, then now let's go on an 8-2 run. Mm-hmm. Let's go score 8 points. Maybe they get a basket in. Then we're gonna go. Hey, we about to really go super hard. It's the fourth quarter. Let's go 10-0, like right, and try to really stop them. Right? Or maybe it's they go 12-4 or 10, whatever. Right. So like, but by the end of it, you caught up with these people, or you've made you made it past these competitors, or your other competitors. But you don't look at the whole pie. You kind of break it down in a sense.
Makes sense.
What can I do today to be successful? Right. All right. You know what? Today I'm gonna make 10 phone calls. Okay. I don't care what the phone calls are. I'm gonna just make 10 phone calls.
Right. So in your mind, with those 10 phone calls, who is your competitor? Like
whoever I'm getting beat by.
Oh, so you looking at the scoreboard? You looking at the numbers?
Looking at the numbers, looking at the scoreboard.
Who's the top? Let me remind me of banking. Who's the top? Who's the top personal banker? Yeah, right. Makes sense.
Right.
Makes sense. Okay.
Because you gotta have a like, and I sorry, back to real life example. My bad. So I'm looking. We got a matrix that we're on, and it's across like, from here to like Texas and Missouri and all kind of like that whole like border, southeastern border, or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So or southwestern border, central, I guess Central America. And I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to get to number one? Right. If I move this number, boom, okay, cool. If I do it, okay, boom. If I do that, boom. All right. And then I start looking at, okay, what behaviors do I need to have to be able to get to that number, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm like already strategizing, planning, figuring it out on what I need to do to be able to be like to get to that number one spot. Okay. Right? Is it possible or is it probable that I'm gonna get the number one spot? Maybe not. I might not get number one, right? Mm-hmm. But is it probable that I can get into the top 10? Very much so. Right, so let's do it.
What conditions are you creating in your mind, though? That going back to the MJ mentality. So you're looking at the competitors. Because they may not even know you. So what are you saying to yourself?
Yeah, like I'm saying. So I'm in the top 25%.
Yeah.
Right. Of like 150 people and like in the top 30. Right.
Okay.
So, but it's like, I'm not looking at everybody that's behind me, right? Like I'm looking at the people that's in front of me. So that's the condition, is that you got to look what's in front of you or who's doing better than you,
right?
And why they're better, and you start to put a plan together to get yourself to that bigger spot, or
makes sense.
Spot, but
so
higher ranking.
Are you telling yourself like, yo, you whack, you number 30, you suck?
Yeah.
Number one looking at you like you peasant.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean?
It's so crazy. Number one is guess who number one is?
Who? No, cuz
Cole's number one, man. So it's like,
oh man,
so I'm always we always talking or whatever. So like I'm like okay, oh you okay? Dang, you do this. Okay, she don't realize she giving me game, right? Like, I mean, she know,
Yeah,
we borrow from each other, right? We plagiarize from each other, right? So, but so it's just like that's the like that. But when you're a top performer, right? You have to have those like. It's always good to talk with other top performers too, right? And be able to
see. Well, I don't think that's the MJ mentality then.
You don't think so?
Because you'll be trying to snipe your cousin, man. You be trying to snipe her, man. Like no remorse. You in this game, I'm trying to get you. Like that. I mean, that's how I think.
I don't think that's necessarily the MJ. I don't think that's the MJ mentality.
Okay,
because you think about it, right? Like, did MJ play pickup ball in the off season with other teams? Absolutely.
But they talk crazy trash.
Yeah, you're gonna talk trash.
Yeah,
but that don't mean that you can't. Like Kobe, for example. Kobe was one of those people that he wanted to go. Like he wanted to go against a bunch of different people,
right?
To be able to sharpen his skills.
Yeah. Of course.
So
of course.
Like you need, like that's the thing, right? You actually need those people that's better than you.
So what I'm trying to pinpoint is that specific moment when Jordan created this narrative that this person said this about him, which caused him to like snipe, like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to pinpoint that in business. So like, it may not be, number one vote. It may not be that, but it may be something else or another narrative that you're telling yourself. Like what I'm trying to figure out, what is that in your business or in your management role? Like what conditions are you creating to what is that word I'm looking for? Again, just I don't know, man. What are you telling yourself? Like, are you telling yourself like, yo, she better than me? What is that? What what are you telling yourself? Well, mentally, what are you saying to yourself mentally?
Yeah. Well, I think there's a part to that.
Okay.
Where you do have to like, because again, like when you think that you the best, you don't always do the extra.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like, and so sometimes I may over dramatize to myself.
Right.
That, oh, you know what, dang. Like I was talking to you earlier today, right? I was like, I want to be more proactive than reactive.
Okay.
Like I'm really proactive on a lot of different things.
I did notice that about you. Like if I call you and you have like a problem, you never put it on the opposing end of the problem. You always say, I need to do this better. Maybe I need to do this better. You're always trying to figure out how to do something better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like in the past, right, like I'd be like, oh man, you suck. Like I would kind of have that, like, that, I ain't gonna say negative self-talk,
right,
but like, and I still do that to a certain extent at times.
Right. It's a weapon, right?
Yeah, like, but and I guess this kind of goes back to that mentality of like, you got to create the conditions and like,
right.
But if I do something, like I was on the phone and I was going through something with one of my leaders, and I was breaking it down
right
in a different way, and then she was like, "Hey, remember when I want to break it down And I was like, oh yeah, boom, boom, boom. And I was just kicking myself.
Right.
Because like, man, I should have said that in the beginning.
Right.
Like, why didn't I say that in the beginning? Right. Like, it's like, so it just kind of, so that's why I say like, I got to be more proactive than reactive, because like, I need to get my mentality to where I can just spit stuff out. Because it's for me right now, I'm hitting that point.
Right.
Where it's like, I'm definitely no longer a new in my role, right? Mm-hmm. But also the people that are a little bit older in their role than me are starting to have different conversations. So I realize now, like, okay, like I gotta take off my training wheels in a sense.
Oh yeah.
And I gotta be more of an asset, to the overall everything.
Oh, so it's that transition period for you.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the periods, man. Like all the 100 jobs I had, especially I always talk about banking, man, because I think that was the longest career I had was in banking. Mm-hmm. So like I remember the period where I would go from a teller to a banker, and now you got like this grace period as a beginner to kind of learn, get your feet wet, whatever. Mm-hmm. But then there is this transitional period where they are no longer looking at you like the new person.
Right.
They like, yo, what you doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? So
right.
I totally get that. But yeah, man, going back to this this MJ mentality, man. Well, so all right, so a person like me, I'm not really competitive.
Okay.
So what would you say to a person who's not really competitive? I'm more collaborative than competitive.
Bro, I don't know. Cause like I'm just being real, right? I think
right.
I just think that like you have to have that all right. This is why I say that. Because like,
so being collaborative is not having a dog.
See, I can't necessarily say that. Okay, all right. I'm gonna give you an example.
Okay.
And this will be the lyric of the week.
Wait. All right, there we go. Go ahead.
The lyric of the week.
All right.
So Kendrick just had his pop out concert.
Right.
Last couple of weeks, right?
Uh-huh.
And brought out the whole West Coast, right? Obviously him and Drake beefing, big deal, right?
Right.
Played the song like 6 times or whatever. Like, whatever. But the reason why I bring that up is because there's another person that people have kind of stopped talking about a little bit.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, this is one of my favorite artists. I'm gonna be real.
Right.
But I had to I had to really like reframe on how I looked at this artist.
Okay.
Right. And because like it is to a certain extent, because again, I'm competitive.
Right.
Right. So it is to a certain extent where I wanted him to show his competitive side, because he always talks about being competitive.
Right.
And I give you the lyric, right, that I got for it, right? And it says
who we talking about?
J. Cole.
Okay.
J. Cole,
okay. Right.
by the way. So he says sticks, and this is on his album that he dropped, or mixtape that he dropped, with the whole diss record to Kendrick on.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's on the same mixtape, right? And he's like, and he's just talking about all this talk about like, he the best, he the GOAT, whatever, right? And he says this, right? He says, sticks and stones may break your bones, but saying my name on a verse will kill.
Right.
So like basically saying like sticks and stones and break your bones, saying my like, so like don't like, and he was like dudes don't want no smoke with me on one of them ones.
Right.
And then Kendrick come out with the smoke, and it's like, you retreat. And it bothers me though. Like, it bothers me. Like, and I love Cole. Don't get me wrong. Like, I love Cole.
Right.
Like, I grew up listening to, like I said, grew up, but like my college years, that's when I really learned, put on Cole. And like, since then, what's that, 2010 or whatever, 2009, whatever it is.
Right.
I've been like Cole's been like my favorite artist, top 2, top 3, depending on what season of my life I'm in. Right.
Right.
But like, but it was so disappointing though, when he did retract his statements and all that. And I get why. Don't get me wrong. And that's where I had to really contextualize
right
the whole thing. And because we know like that beef got really, weird and it got really
it did.
super personal other than, whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I did feel like, dude, you talk all this talk, like, don't back down, because people looking at it like, and I understand why he did what he did.
Right.
But the perception of it though is Cole really can't compete with Kendrick. But I really do think Cole can compete with Kendrick.
No, I think we all can. So I do get what you're saying, that because a part of me, so although I am collaborative, there's a part of me that want to see that dog in Cole.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But a big part of me do agree with what he did. You know what I mean? But I see a lot of conversations on both ends. Some people saying, hey, the man's protecting his peace. You know, and some people say, nah. What?
You following through?
You following through? Nah, you following through. But I mean, at the end of the day, though, with both of the artists, even if he was to compete, I can't see where Cole would fit in this particular beef, because we know Drake.
Right.
We know Drake will take it there.
Right.
We know he gonna get paid.
Drake got an MJ mentality too.
He do.
He got that.
But him and Kendrick, Kendrick do too. Yeah, man, come on.
Yeah, he do. He do. You right. You right.
Remember that weekend we walked through the songs.
Yeah, he do.
What is he making this up in his mind? Or, like he keep mentioning Drake. You see the little jabs, right?
Yeah.
So and even from when they first started together, when I think he went on tour with Drake, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can just tell that there was some narratives. I mean, if you're discerning, from all the conversations and the rap, you could just tell that there are some narratives, going on in Kendrick's mind that's causing him to, like, is he trying to little boy me? You know what I mean? What is he trying to do? Like, right. I hope he don't think this type of thing, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I think people want to see that side of J. Cole. But with the two people that were involved, I don't see a way that he could fit in that, because I feel like the two people who are involved would go at it until the death. And it's just that type of mentality when it comes to, like, the MJ mentality. Yo, I'm finna put my life on the line. You feel me? And, if I have to go down with you,
yeah,
I will.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I don't see where Cole fit in that.
Yeah, I don't think he doesn't have that. Like, so Cole is more like LeBron.
Yeah, so and this confused me, bro. I was about to bring this up, man. How you got the MJ mentality but a LeBron fan? Because LeBron is collaborative. You know what I mean? So, like, he ain't no MJ, man.
Yeah,
he don't have that diet.
You can't argue with the stats though.
Nah, you can't.
Like, that's the thing, right?
I get. Man, what's the other lyric? We all want what we can't have, or something like that. Who said that? I think it was Wale. He was like, a nerdy girl want a thug, and a hood chick want a nerd, or something like that. Like, I'm an MJ fan, but my demeanor is more like LeBron, because I like that dog. You know what I mean? But I think it's a part of me that won't let me go that far.
Yeah. I got an answer for you now.
Okay.
Because I didn't have an answer for you when you asked me that question.
Okay, go ahead.
What
was the question?
Because you said, you asked me, for somebody that doesn't have that MJ mentality, how do they, I don't know if it was how they be successful or.
Yeah. Like,
I think that, I'm a thought leader right here, so just so y'all.
I thought leader. We need a button for that, bro. Go ahead.
You gain your competitive advantage by being consistent.
That's true.
Like, when you really think about the people that don't have that, like, that or do have that collaborative more style than competitive style. Dang, that could be the name of this, right? Collaborative versus competitive.
I like that.
But when you do have that collaborative style, I think it's super important to continue to be consistent in whatever you're offering.
Right.
So, for example, LeBron, right? Like, he's been dominant. I think I saw a picture when they posted. It was like, when Bronny was born, He was averaging like 28 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists.
Right.
Last year he averaged 26 points or 20 whatever, a point less, 7 rebounds and like 8 assists.
Right.
So its numbers have been very consistent over the last 20 plus years.
It's like water.
You know?
Yeah.
And when you think about Cole, right? Cole has like he's always been a great rapper, right?
Right.
But then when you look at him now, he's at that point where he's continuously sharpening his skills.
Right.
Like so much to the point where he's been talking about the fall off, like, you know, retirement from rapping, blah, blah. Just like, it's ironic that, you know, he signed to Jay-Z and Jay-Z did that same thing, right?
Right.
But with Cole, he's getting sharper. Like he's becoming even a better rapper today than he was like what's the word they call it? Like a better technical rapper. Like, than he was, you know, 5 years ago. So at the point where he's, you know, because it's consistency. Like he's consistently working on his craft.
So you said something, bro. Let me walk this down real quick. Let me walk my thoughts down real quick. So MJ mentality is full on attack mode.
Yep.
Competitive.
Yep.
LeBron is collaborative. That's me. Our competitive edge is consistency.
Yep.
Just like water. If water hit concrete long enough, it'll move that concrete.
Yep.
So you're going back to J. Cole. He's been consistent. I really think the collaboratives is who you got to look out for because they watching the dog eat dog, MJ mentality, and they're learning. See, one thing about collaborative is that we don't compete. So if you do something good, I might borrow that because I feel like we're cool, we're collabing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna borrow that, but I'm gonna put my own mix on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But in your mind, you were like, did he just steal my? Like, nah, we working together, bro. Nah, we competing. I didn't know that. You know, so I think J. Cole is watching. He's learning, and right now, yeah, people may say that he should have competed, but let's give it 5 years from now. You know, after they not like us. They not like us after that die out. You know what I mean? And after all the sizzle out, let's see who's going to be at the top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And one thing you'll notice about people that are competitive and the people that are collaborative truly is, like, for example, right, you can argue that Drake is collaborative. You can argue that.
Right.
But when you think about how many people hate Drake, like, is he truly collaborative, or did he really just have you come in just so he could do this? And, you know,
I mean,
and you think about LeBron,
right?
Like, how many people really hate LeBron? Like, who hates LeBron? Like, personally, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you might not like you might think Jordan's, but like he's a nice guy.
Nobody hate LeBron.
You know?
Yeah.
So, like,
and LeBron, and he understands he's not trying to be Jordan. But go ahead.
I think he was trying to be Jordan for sure.
Think so?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Really?
Because you think about it, I mean, he had, like, who doesn't want to be Jordan?
Okay, go ahead.
Now Kobe was more like Jordan than LeBron for sure.
Nah, he was a carbon copy.
You know, but like, like, who doesn't want to be, like, he's the greatest, you know, at the time, right? Like, the greatest basketball player of all time.
Right. So, okay, so to that point, you know who else had that dog?
Who?
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ had a dog. He went collaborative.
Hold on. What I'm looking for? Scripture of the week. Okay. I ain't really got no scripture, but I just want to talk about Jesus, man. He said, "I come not to bring peace, but a sword." People think that Jesus. Now, he was collaborative. Let's not confuse that.
It was political.
Huh?
He was political.
He wasn't political at all. Jesus was not political, man.
Like, in a way, not in a earthly way.
He was democratic.
Maybe democratic is the right word.
He was democratic for sure. But he, like he said, he came not to bring peace, but a sword. But see, the thing with Jesus is that his collaborativeness came according to mission. And if you wasn't a part of that mission or against that mission, you cut off. What he said? What he say? what he said about his family? He said, my brother who, mother who, my brother and my brother and sisters are the ones who are about my father's business. You see what I'm saying? So he wasn't all the way collaborative, but he wasn't all the way like competitive. You know what I mean? He just knew that he had a mission, and he knew what the mission was because he knew the mission was from the Father, and he was dead on that mission, man. Like, you know, if you're with the mission, let's collab. If you're not, get from around me, you know. And I think in my case, that's the approach I want to take. You know what I mean? Like, the mission is, well, I can't give a given mission, but the goal. If we have a goal, the goal, like, okay, be more to do more. We have a goal. We have different approaches, you and I, but we have the same goal, which keeps us unified. You know what I mean? And we can try to figure out the different approaches. But if your goal was to I don't know, man, just something crazy, like it just, you know, was out of whack. And I think that's a problem with just looking for different business partners. We had different goals, but it may be the same approach but different goals, and it didn't work out. So now you and I, we have the same goals, similar goals, but different approaches. So it's like, yo, we can figure out how to make this work, and forget them other guys. You know what I mean? So I think collaborative. I think it's good to have. I want to say a balance, man.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's good to have a balance. Like on my arm, I got this tat, and the Christian community, they might, I don't know, but it says two sides. They might cancel me.
Cancel him.
But it says two sides to me, man.
Fouling the body. Cancel him.
But I got this back, man. How old was I? I was 19, 18, something like that. But I always struggle. I told my dad this. I always struggled with the two sides. Either I'm too nice or too much of an a-hole. And now I'm getting to that point where I know where the balance lies, and I know why. I know why, you know, because I know what my calling is. I know what my mission is. And it's going to require the a-hole side, you know, because people going to play in your face. And you just got to be truthful, and you got to be truth and, you know, just call it out, you know. But at the end of the day, man, like, I think this collaborative, competitive, it's all a balance. So we'll say MJ and LeBron, Cole and the other two. You know what I mean? I think it's all a balance.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah, I think that's all I got on it. Just the collaborative and the you do have to have the balance. I do agree with you on 100%.
Because now I'm seeing the balance. After this conversation, I'm seeing the balance even in you. Because you're not fully like snipe mode, right? You know, but you will take it there
if I needed to. So it's naturally I'm naturally a collaborator. Yeah. But situations
cause you to snipe.
Cause me to be like, yeah, you know, competitive and because, you know, like everybody ain't fair, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Everybody's not looking at it evenly. Or sometimes, like you talked about, like people have different goals.
Yeah, different.
You know, and so like I'm not gonna allow you to be able to carry me somewhere that I don't want to go. I'd rather just be like, Man, and if I hurt your feelings, I hurt your feelings. Right. You know, it is what it is. I'm not trying to, right? But I also got to be true to me.
Man, that's a good segue into something I was thinking about. When somebody else's passion try to interfere with your purpose. You know what I mean? Like when somebody else is so passionate about something.
That's gonna be a good pod.
Yeah. When somebody else is passionate about something. Yeah. And they are so passionate that they think that they're passionate overrule what your purpose is. They try to interfere with what you're doing, but you all wrong because you're not passionate like they are about what they got going on. But yeah, man, that's a good segue into that. Yeah. But for now, that's all I got.
That's all I got, man.
Be sure y'all go to Amazon.com and type what am I doing, WRITE, write journal. Write your goals down. This journal is a game changer, bro. Like it's a wholeness journal where you get to see where you are mentally, spiritually, physically, and what your purpose is. My man came up with the meat of it. And yeah, it's a game changer, man. So get that what am I doing right journal. Be sure to like this video. That helps out. Please like this video, share, subscribe, and hit the bell.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell, man. And let's get this podcast out of here. We out.
We out.
Somebody keep their head up, cause you concerned about them. Stick and move, we can get it done. Call it unity, it ain't no way around it. Cultivating, we get motivation from the big guy. We don't play about them. Going hard for the gang, showing.